Hi friends! Today I'm going to talk to you about a few series that I really need to continue or finish very soon. If you know me, you probably already figured out that I'm really bad at finishing series. I get really attached to a series and then I don't want it to be over, so I just let the last book sit on my shelf for a really long time and I don't read it. And I'm going to try to stop doing that. So these are just a few of the series that I want to prioritize first. I thought about also including series that I want to start soon, but I figured that would make the video way too long. But if you are interested in a video about series that maybe I already own and that I want to start soon, let me know and I'll see what I can do. Okay, and so the first series on the list is one that I cannot believe I didn't read the last book, like literally the day it came out, because I was anticipating it all year and I was so hyped for it, and then I just got cold feet, I guess. And that's the Folk of the Air series by Holly Black. Yeah, I still have not read The Queen of Nothing. I did get spoiled for the ending of it literally like 3 hours after it started downloading on people's Kindles in Australia. That's also part of why I haven't been that motivated to read it, is because the spoiler that I saw made me think that I'm going to suffer tremendously at the hands of Holly Black in this book, and I'm not sure if I'm ready for it. The next series on my list is one of my favorite authors, and again, I can't believe I haven't read this yet, and that's the second book in the Villain series. This is Vengeful. I read Vicious right before Vengeful came out, and my spouse and I think actually buddy read it in preparation for Vengeful because we were going to buddy read Vengeful together, and then it came out and neither of us have read it yet, so I guess that didn't go so well. While we're on the topic of Victoria Schwab, another series of hers that I need to continue soon is the Cassidy Blake series, her middle grade series. This is Tunnel of Bones. This came out last year. This is a testament to how bad my reading slump was last year, because by all intents and purposes, I honestly should have devoured this like the moment that it arrived in my mailbox, and I don't know why I didn't. But the slump of 2019 was real, y'all, and I think this came out in like the absolute worst of that slump. This is one that I'm going to try to get to really soon though, because I know it'll be a fast read anyways, and I know that I'm going to love it, so there's no reason to put it off. Okay, the next one is book 2 in the Lifelike series by Jay Kristoff. The third and final book in the series, True Life, comes out in June. But I was already wanting to read this before the third book comes out in June. I just need somebody to come scream at me until I read this, basically. Okay, the next one is a book that actually made it onto not only my 2019 TBR, but I'm pretty sure it was also on my 2018 TBR. And that's Winter by Marissa Meyer. I'm so not ready to say goodbye to these characters that realistically I'm probably going to reread Chris. I also still have some of the short stories to read, but I'm not like counting that as part of the main series. Like, this is the main thing that I need to get to. But I am probably going to reread Chris first because I miss my babies. I guess I should have done this one a second ago. Another Jay Kristoff one, Dark Dawn. If you have read Nevernight, you already know that the beginning of Nevernight tells you how this is all going to end. And I know that Jay likes writing twists, but I also know that Jay likes brutalizing his readers. So I'm going to assume that what we're warned about in the first book does happen in the third book. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you somehow like missed that when you're reading the first book, I'm not going to tell you because it's the only reason I haven't read this yet. I need to just suck it up and read it. I really do, but it just hurts to think about. Okay, and next is book 2 in a series that I don't talk about nearly enough. And that's the second book in the Bone Season series by Samantha Shannon, also known for The Priory of the Orange Tree, which I also haven't read, but we're not going to talk about that. I read the Bone Season, it's been like 3 years almost, so I'm probably going to reread it before I read this. But the Bone Season was one of those books that I did not think would work for me based on the premise, because it didn't really sound like the kind of plot that I was super interested in. But somebody talked me into getting it from probably Book Outlet or something and giving it a chance, and I ended up staying up until like 6 o'clock in the morning reading it. I couldn't get enough. I loved Paige. I love Arcturus so much, and I'm actually really missing Arcturus lately. I really need to get back into this world, so I'm actually thinking about putting a reread of the Bone Season on my March TBR, so we'll see. Next is another book that was actually on my annual TBR last year, and I didn't read it, and if I remember correctly, it made it back onto my year TBR this year, and that is City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare, the last book in the Mortal Instruments series. I want so badly to continue in the Shadowhunters world. I'm so ready to start the Dark Artifices, but I refuse to do it until I finish City of Heavenly Fire. And I started this like 2 years ago, and I got like 150 pages into it. So I got pretty far into it and I was enjoying it. I just hit that whole like, you know, cold feet, like not ready to say goodbye to the series feeling that I get so often. And I don't know why I'm like this, and I wish I wasn't. But the more I love a series, the harder it is for me to read the last book in it. And you know what? I really think a lot of it still boils down to how traumatized I was by the last Divergent book. Anyways, I have more faith in Cinderclare than I do in Veronica Roth. And that's not throwing shade at anybody who likes Veronica Roth's writing. Like, I still think Divergent was a really fun book. I just didn't like the sequels very much. But yeah. So hopefully soon I will find it within my soul. I will grasp the emotional fortitude needed to say goodbye to these babies. And really, I make it sound so much worse than it is, knowing that in the Dark Artifices, like somebody told me there are cameos of most of these characters in the Dark Artifices. And then I know that like my favorite character in the series, Magnus Bane, I know that I have so much more to look forward to with him. So it's like, I really need to stop being dramatic and just read it. Okay, and then the next series that I really need to finish is the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. This is the last book in the series. I started this almost as soon as it came out, and I was in that really bad reading slump, so I was reading it really slowly, and I got like 150 pages into it, and I had to set it down for like a week because I just had like no reading time and no energy to read for like several days. And during that time span, I saw so many negative reviews for it. And I was like, no, like, and it made me so nervous to continue because I was really enjoying it up to the point that I was at. And everybody was like, oh, once you hit like 200 pages in, it goes super downhill. And now I'm just like really nervous about it. And I need to just get over that because, to be fair, I loved Escaping from Houdini. And I feel like almost everyone I know was disappointed in it. And I still thought it was great. So maybe I'll have a similar situation with this. And even though so many people were disappointed with it, I will like love it. All right. And then the last book on my list of series that I need to complete. I feel like most of you probably already know what's coming, and my heart is just not ready at all. And that's Kingdom of Ash. I read the entire Throne of Glass series, like one book every 2 or 3 weeks leading up to the release of Kingdom of Ash, because I had put off starting the series until right before Kingdom of Ash came out because so many people were like, there's a huge cliffhanger at the end of Empire of Storms, like you don't want to do that to yourself. So I took everyone's advice and I waited and I binged the series over the like few months leading up to Kingdom of Ash's release. And then I started this literally the day it came out, and I got like 60 pages in and I got really scared. And my babies were hurting and like everyone was scared and I was very emotional, and so I put it back on the shelf and I have yet to find it within myself to pick it back up. And I actually really want to do a reread of the series because I got my spouse to start reading the series and they said that the audiobooks were really good, and so I really want to listen to the audiobooks. We bought the first few on Audible, but my spouse is like, you're just using this as an excuse to like procrastinate further on reading the final book. And I'm like, I know. If you hear me say anything else about starting a reread of the series, just be like, no, Destiny. Just come in my DMs and just scream at me until I read it. I need like a bookish drill sergeant to just come yell at me until I finish all the series that I'm in the middle of that I haven't finished. That would be good. Okay, and that's it. Those are the series that I want to finish as soon as possible. Those are not all of the series that I have ongoing, but these are the most important ones. If you have any words of encouragement to be like, hey, like that finale was really good, you should read it sooner than later, like feel free, just dump all that in the comments because your girl needs the encouragement at this point. Because like I said, Veronica Roth traumatized me. I'm terrified of series finales forever. Deathly Hallows was probably part of that too, because like, let's be honest, that was one of the single most painful experiences of my entire life. And I don't mean that as in it was bad. Like, it was a great book. Like, I loved Deathly Hallows. I just mean it as in like it ripped my heart out through my throat and then like chewed it up and like spat it out in front of me and stomped on it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this ridiculous video. If you liked it, please click like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you want to see me do a video of series that I want to start soon. If you want to buddy read any of these finales, let me know. Let's make it happen. I will see you guys in another video again soon. Bye!